ladies and gents, Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. Oh yes, I did it. New video up for my other channel, Romie Whispers Asthma, or Romie Whispers ASMR. Show some love, show some support over there. It's a role-play therapy session. And I feel like I'm more than comfortable enough than doing that alone weekly. So that could be like a staple Wednesday video, and I can add in like another video or two per week just to really get things moving over there. Thank you. But that's not what we're primarily here to talk about. Oh, that roleplay, self-health, breathing exercises. I really want to have some fun with that. But on to the shenanigans. Hannah and Candice and Jim. So this is have and have nots, depending on your DVR, and also when you first started the show. Reviewers call this the 7th season, the 6th episode. Your DVR may say season 6 episode. No, I'm sorry, this is episode 8, but your DVR may say season 6 instead of season 7. The title is Enough, because they've had enough. So it starts off with Hannah and Candice whooping Jim's behind. And for a moment, he looked like he was getting the upper hand because he was moving, he was shaking, but so were they. And once they got their balance back again, they started kicking him, punching him. I said, y'all better do it, but I want to see marks. that was my only thing. I wanted to see marks on him, but then again, no, I don't, because he will have gone, taken them to jail, and you know once they're in that jail what he could have probably done to them. But then again, does Jim really want them in jail? Candice has the president on her side, whether she still realized it or not. And with all the information that Hannah knows, that's the last person you want talking to the cops. The only reason why she doesn't talk to the cops is because she is semi-cool with Katherine. And it's being held on by a thread. And, you know, of course, Candice and Hannah were both in his face like, oh, I will whoop that tail. Come after my brother again. Come after him. I said, oh, so we're no longer talking, you know, with the regular properties and all of that. No, this is straight up, I'm going to whoop your ass. And I said, oh my God. Oh my, I said, praise be the glory. Get him. Hannah said, I will murk you. I will end you. Going down. Period. I was so happy. Because she's not playing. And guess who comes in? I guess Hannah must have said it again, because we didn't see Katherine come in originally when Hannah said that she would murk Jim. So Hannah has to say it again. But did anyone notice that when Candice stopped Hannah and she was like, Mama? I said, oh, you haven't called her Mama in a moment. But every time she says that, it's usually in a manipulative way. But this time, it was a little different. They were 100% on the same side. And I loved it. I said, take them down. Take them all down. Take them down. Anyway. Okay. Get it together. I'm just so happy. Katherine comes in. Katherine is confused. Like, what is going on? And Jim says, oh, these women. I said, okay, that's better. I still don't like how you say it, but that's better. These women are, they're leaving now. They had an issue, you know, their punties were in a bunch. And Katherine learns why. It's that you tried to go and kill Benny. No, I didn't try to go and murk Benny. I just needed him hurt a little bit. And so then, of course, Candice and Hannah were both like, try that ish again, you're going to lose your life. You're going to lose it. So now Katherine is just so disturbed. She's like, Jim, go upstairs. And wow, this is like the old days. Go upstairs and, just leave. She didn't say leave this house because he can't go. He can't go. So then he goes upstairs and Hannah and Candice are going to leave. Candice was like, see, I told you. This is what I was trying to tell you about these people. They don't really care about us. This is how little they think of you. You know what he wanted to call us. And yeah, Jim was ready to go. He was raring to go. Katherine tried to stop Hannah. Hannah said, no. That husband of yours, I'm gonna, if he even bats an eyelash in the direction of my children's again, I'm gonna murk him. Period. So now they're leaving. In comes Benny and Mitch, and now Benny's upset because he sees Hannah upset, and they're like, wait, what's going on? It was them. I know it was them, Benny. I just confronted them. Okay, go. No, you can't go inside. I'm just going to leave. I don't want a car ride. I need time to think. Now, sidebar. Did anyone else know this? I was looking down the road to see Hannah still walking. I said, okay, continuity. I appreciate that. Continuity. Still saw her walking. I'm thinking, you really let her just walk like that? Someone should have been following behind her. Anyway, this family makes no sense half the time. I'm assuming Mitch's family gave him the information. Benny was over it because Benny, he got the sense knocked into him. Benny, all of a sudden, now he wants to go and make sense? I'm irritated. I said, you choose now? Now? Benny's whole thing is, he's upset with Candice because he realizes, Candice, you're the one that put us in this situation time after time, and I'm over it. Okay. He even shows Candice the picture of, Quincy Jr. He's just pissed that you're blaming Jim, you're blaming Mommy, you're blaming me, but you're the one that wants to go and take these people's money, and now they're after us. I said, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. While all of that's going on, I guess Benny remembered that, my side's supposed to hurt. So he's partially holding his side while Jim is up on his porch saying, get these nuns out of here. That's the energy that he was given. And Benny said, oh, look at you up there. Look at you up there. Was it all worth it? Was it? I know you did this to me. He said, I don't know what you're talking about. But just know that you're still here for a reason. If you were supposed to be dead, you were supposed to be dead. But that's not what happened. So I need for you to go and leave my property. Because obviously, he can call the cops and they'll all be arrested. So they had to leave. I'm thinking, did anyone pick up Hannah? Or at least ride behind her to make sure that she was okay? Jim goes back inside. And now it's Jim versus Katherine. Today is not Jim's day. This is when Jim finds out, first of all, Jim is pissed. He's trying to figure out, why are you showing so much consideration for this woman, as in Hannah? That's when Katherine had to just go and break down and say, because she is my friend. So you're friends with the maid and she's just so... Katherine, what aren't you telling me? She nursed me back to health when I had... Whoa. I'm not putting that on me. She nursed Katherine back to health when Katherine had cancer. Alright. Jim was shocked because Jim wasn't sure if he could believe her. And then he looked at her like, wait, you had cancer? She's like, yeah. So you're saying you were potentially on your deathbed and you didn't tell me, but you told Hannah, and Hannah nursed you back to health? Yes, Jim, that's how that works. Yeah. So now Jim's upset at Hannah even more because he was like, oh, so that's another reason for me to hate that bee. I'm thinking, oh my God. But Jim, he was just so shocked that He didn't know. You're a terrible person. Of course, she wouldn't tell you. You were cheating on her, doing all this other stuff, and you thought that your wife would go and tell you something and be vulnerable during a terrible time in her life? No, because now for him, it's starting to make sense why she was always in bed, why she was off during that time frame when Amanda was still alive. So it was like a combination of guilt, anger, pettiness, all of that flashed, with Jim. But it's not over, because you have to remember that Katherine said, you know how terrible I can be. Don't do it. Don't get froggy. It's not your money, and you need to get over it. It's not your money. At this point, $8 million, she deserves it. She deserves $8 million because she nursed you back to health. Health is priceless. See, that's someone with privilege talking, because if you're unhealthy, then it'd be a different story. I mean, he's toxic, but I guess his health is okay. Not mental health. Now, David comes back home, and I enjoyed this episode, clearly. David came back home. Guess who's outside? Matt. And Matt was there. I guess Matt's going to continue to work there afterwards. I thought he was going to find someone to transfer him. Maybe he is, but in the meantime, he doesn't have a transfer, so he's going to continue on. Jeffrey isn't home. That's why Madison was outside, and he doesn't know where Jeffrey is. Now, technically, that's partially the truth. He doesn't know if Jeffrey's still at the hospital. I'm sure that he probably figured, but he wasn't going to go and tell David that. He's not Jeffrey's keeper anymore. Sorry, that's not in my budget. Pay me a little bit extra. Well, that may not be legal. But, so yeah, pay a private eye, because I can't do it. I'm not doing it. Jeffrey goes back to Justin's room. And Justin was so happy to see Jeffrey. He was like, oh, you left? He was like, no, I didn't leave. I just went, and got something in the hospital, and that's it. So Justin wants Jeffrey to come back to his apartment. Justin is going to be released soon. And Jeffrey said, okay, I'll stop by. And he's just so happy. And I was disgusted. I can't talk about their scenes because it's disgusting. Jeffrey is such an enabler, and he's so needy that someone as toxic as Justin, he's fine with that for the simple fact that it fulfills his primary goal of being wanted and needed, which is extremely sad. Extremely sad. Now we have Wyatt. Wyatt is talking to George, and George is trying to get Wyatt to put on the suit so that he can go and talk to the jury. Wyatt wants his money. Wyatt wants, in true addict form, Wyatt wants his payment, as in the drugs. And Wyatt is upset because this doctor comes in. He thinks that the doctor is going to give him heroin. Sidebar. Family and Fiance. I am going to watch that show, and I'm going to review it. That's going to be my 90-day marriage. That's going to be my version of that show, and I'm excited. I am going to be tuned in every week for that. That looks good, and it looks like it actually serves a really big, important purpose with maybe a happy ending or not. So I will review that. I will be picking back up If Loving You Is Wrong when it comes back on next month in March. Because I dropped the show, I think, like 2 episodes before the season finale because I was just so pissed at the direction that it went. But it's a soap opera. You can't think too much about soap operas. I just have to accept that. It's a dramedy soap opera, kind of like Empire, kind of like certain shows where you can't take too seriously. Now, back to Wyatt. Wyatt gets the pill from the doctor because the doctor says, I have something strong. You're going to like it. Oh, really? What is it? It's a detox pill. I said, huh? So what it is, it's to help stop the craving of wanting the drugs. And at first, Wyatt was over it, and he still didn't want to talk. He actually wanted to talk to the jury because he was thinking, okay, maybe I can get something stronger. George said, You are high off your mind. You are tweaking. You are wired, as they say. A jury will look at you as a junkie instead of as credible, which is true. And so he needs to wait it out. Now, David, his recovery is going pretty well. David wants Matt to call Jeffrey. He tries calling Jeffrey, but then he stops. I'm thinking, is Jeffrey pulling up? Is that his car? No, it's Veronica. So then he goes, gets himself dressed, and Veronica's there because she heard David out, and she agrees. She feels like she wants to give their relationship another try. He again apologizes, says things got out of hand. I'm looking at this like, huh? David is trying to set up Veronica. It's very obvious to me. It is very obvious. He said she's going to pay. He did not just change his mind. The show would be lazy and sad and pathetic writing if that was the case. And I can't see it being that bad. I refuse. David is setting up Veronica. He's going to make her so comfortable. He's going to say he loves her. He's going to hold her. She's going to do whatever it takes to make her comfortable and slip up. Now, Veronica, remember, Veronica, she wants David. She's very demented, but she's never stopped wanting her husband. She just has issues. So she said, first things first, she'll stop drinking. She'll stop drinking, and because she knows she's a different person. I said, beautiful. Thank you, Jesus. Second, they need to figure out Jeffrey and that Jeffrey situation. And David said, no, I understand. Because one, Veronica said, who's the nurse taking care of you? Who is she? I want to meet her. I said, oh, here we go. It's a man. Oh, okay. I want to meet him. Cool. Madison comes walking down. She said, Madison? Not... Oh, no, it's another girl. Listen, Veronica, you ignorant... you ignorant... Oh my. And Veronica, she was just like, girl, pick your battles. I forgot what the pick your battles thing was, because they're going to find a place together. They're going to date. It's going to be cute. David even agrees that, this Jeffrey charade with the men and all of that, it needs to end. And David said he agrees. Now, to a certain extent, he does agree. Not about Jeffrey's sexuality, but just the foolishness that he's gotten into. Relationship-wise. And Veronica's loving it. She was trying to figure out, why is your tune switch up so quickly? But she was so happy she hugged him and forgot that his back was messed up. And then comes Jeffrey. And Jeffrey is looking in pure disgust and fear that, what's going on here? Oh, we're going to go and date and work things out. And then Veronica leaves. David goes upstairs. And Madison tells Jeffrey, now I understand. You've never seen a good example of a stable, positive relationship. And your father takes back your mother, who is abusive. And so that's why you think it's okay. All of you are enablers. And to a certain extent, he's absolutely right. We've all said that before. Jeffrey didn't want to hear that. He was like, oh, I don't want to hear that. Goes upstairs. Madison was thinking, oh, look, I just need to go and complete my quota and get out. Now we have Candice. She shows up at the Artesian, and Broderick was there. The problem is that Candice is not her normal self. Candice is off. Candice is off for the fact that, unfortunately, she had... It's like it's all getting to her. The Benny stuff, the money. She tells Broderick, get Gina. I said, oh, Gina's still around? I didn't think Gina was on the case anymore. Get Gina, get Rocky, get RK. I need to go and make some new moves. And Broderick was like, wait, but what's wrong with you? I've never seen you like this before. She was like, okay, just give me something to drink. He gets her a shot, another shot, downs that, onto the third one. And so she takes the third one and leaves, or tries to, but then the presidential escort runs through, and I said, there's no way they didn't see Candice. No way they didn't see Candice. But Charles, he walks past. Langdon stops because he sees Candice. So Langdon was like, oh, girl, what's wrong with you? I've never seen you like this. So you get, sit down. Let's order a drink and talk. And so then Candice just started to, and I said, really, to Langdon? This is the only thing that I felt wasn't believable. Her breaking down to Langdon, who it's not that she hates him. It's just that because he's, really it's more so because he's attached to Charles. That's why she doesn't feel like she can really trust him. But I guess she's so desperate and so vulnerable. This is one of the rare times where, because she was starting to cry, which I said, uh-oh, she's having a nervous breakdown. So then he was like, okay, let's go back to my room. Because you, right now, you're in the process of having a nervous breakdown. They go to his room. He texts someone. Obviously, it's Charles. And she gives her some water. It's like, Candice, I think you're having a nervous breakdown. You need to breathe. Look at me. You need to breathe. And, like, what's happening? It's like, oh, it's my son. And then, knock. Charles comes through. So then Langdon hands it off to Charles. And Charles, he's sitting right across from Candice and gets closer to her. And that's when she says, it's just, everything is so messed up. And her mother and brother brought up the fact that her son kept bringing him up. And, the floodgates came out. And she just doesn't know how to handle it. And she just feels like it's her fault, which it is. Like, we're not going to mince words. I know people were blaming Hannah. It was multiple people's fault, but Candice was the main person who got into this stuff and perpetuated it. That shootout wouldn't have occurred if Candice chilled out. Now, let's be clear, and that's a fact. So I'm not going to go and just say that it was Hannah's fault for taking them to that ratty hotel. As we see now, they're killing people in the nice neighborhoods too. So he's saying that, look, you have no idea how much our lives actually mirror each other. And that's why I want to give you an opportunity to start over. You can start over. Don't think just because of what this all looks like, you can't start over. I was a mess, and people came in my lives and said, we want to give you another option. And I took it. And that's all I want to do for you. Now, we didn't really see what happened there because they wanted to show us a preview of that new show, Family or Fiance, or Family and Fiance. But next week, we'll be back to the mess. I mean, this week was great. Great. Please like, comment, subscribe. Remember, I put up, it was late, so I do apologize for that, but I did put up the Love and Hip Hop New York, as well as Miami, as well as The Passage. I did a recap for The Passage. So all of those are already up. My new roleplay video of me being a therapist for on my other channel, Romie Whispers ASMR, is up. Yeah, I'm gonna go and get some Z's. Thanks.